guys, Ashley and Kelly here.
We're back.
And today we're going to be talking about auto insurance with you guys. So just before we start, we're only going to be talking about New York State auto insurance because different states have all different laws. So auto insurance provides property, liability, and medical coverage. All states have laws that set the minimum amounts of insurance, and the basic auto policy is composed of 6 different coverages.
Now, just so you're in the know, New York State, the basic limits that are required through the state are $25,000 per person, $50,000 per accident, $10,000 in property damage. However, everybody knows that the cost of cars are close to $30,000, $40,000 at a minimum these years. And the cost to repair, let's say, a telephone pole that's fallen because you've crashed into it, it's not going to be covered by the $10,000. So in our office, we always recommend that you go higher.
And bodily injury liability, this coverage applies to injuries that the policy holder causes to someone else. It is usually written as 3 numbers such as 100, 300, 100, and this breaks down to $100,000 in bodily injury per person, $300,000 per accident, and $100,000 per property per accident.
That's that 25, 50, 10 thing, but she gave you the coverages that we like to use.
And bodily injury liability will pay for others' medical bills and lost wages. Property damage liability will pay to repair or replace property that you destroy. So let's say you drove into a restaurant or drove into a wall or park.
Or the 7-Eleven, because we hear about that a lot on the news, actually.
And you could also have a combined single limit, such as $300,000 combined single limit. This means that no matter how many people were involved in that accident, the most the insurance company will pay is $300,000.
It's kind of like Santa Claus's grab bag.
And liability insurance has no deductible. So the medical payments acts as primary coverage for medical expenses you and your passengers incur after an accident. MedPay will pay no matter who caused that accident.
It's a good faith payment from the insurance company. That's all I really have to say about that.
So personal injury protection coverage pays for medical expenses and lost wages for you and your passengers who were injured in an accident.
True story. We actually just had somebody who is making a PIP claim against their own auto policy for being involved in an accident while they were riding a bicycle. So yes, it can cover lots of fun different things in the policy. Just give us a call and we'll explain everything to you.
Okay, and the next coverage is collision. This pays for damage to your car resulting from a collision with another car or an object, and it's not required by law. It's optional. However, if your car is financed or leased, they will probably make you have that coverage. Most people go with around a $500 deductible, which would be your out-of-pocket expense.
No, that says it all. I'm good.
Okay. The next one is comprehensive. This coverage reimburses you for loss due to theft or damage from fire, falling objects, earthquakes, hail, flood, vandalism, contact with animals, like if you hit a deer. Again, it's not required to have it, but if your car is leased or financed, then you probably will be required. And most people go with a $500 deductible. Most companies offer full glass coverage without that deductible.
We heavily recommend that even if your car is an older car and you're not going to go with collision coverage, because we can understand what the value of a car in the event of a total loss in an accident, you at least go with the comprehensive coverage because it does afford you that glass coverage, and replacing a windshield can get rather expensive. And it really doesn't cost that much, especially with the older models.
Okay, and the next coverage is uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage. So the uninsured coverage will reimburse the policyholder if they are hit by a driver that has no auto insurance, or let's say you're hit by a hit-and-run driver. The underinsured coverage comes into play when an at-fault driver has insufficient insurance to pay for your loss.
For example, let's say you have a driver from Pennsylvania, and please, Pennsylvanians, don't shoot me because I don't know what your minimum coverages are. But let's say somebody from Pennsylvania is only required to carry $15.25 on their bodily injury liability limits. They come into the state of New York, and they get involved in an accident because they're not carrying the minimum within the state of New York. That's where your underinsured motorist coverage really is going to come into play.
So that's basically the basics of an auto policy. It does get a little bit more complicated, but those are just the basics. So that's about it for today. And we'll probably be on Facebook later this week announcing a new life insurance product that we are super excited about at the office.
Indeed.
That if you guys work out and live a healthy lifestyle, you guys are going to love this.
Or if you guys want the incentive to start working out and living that healthier lifestyle, you're going to want to listen to this.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.